Welcome to another end of the year list. This time we're going to be talking about top 10 albums of 2021. These are my 10 favorite albums that I heard throughout last year. Of course, there are more albums that I heard that I just didn't quite make it in here. I hope you guys enjoy. And remember, this is my opinion. So if you disagree, you're an idiot because my opinion's the only correct opinion. Number 10 is Pray for Haiti by Comey. I really like the fact, I don't know, Comey isn't really a rapper that I listened to before this, but the West Side Gun being so heavily involved, it was like I had to listen to it because I love Griselda. And man, it was just so good. Anything that is Griselda is just at least involved with, it just sounds like absolute gold. I absolutely loved this album. I can't wait to listen to more by Comey. I've listened to other projects by him after I listened to that one, and so far he's been great. Up at number 9, another Griselda member, Hitler Wears Hermes 8 by West Side Gun. I would like to mention that both side A and B are included in this. I absolutely love Griselda's production. I love the rawness somehow. I don't know how to explain how Griselda's production, but it's just so fantastic every time. Whether it's Conway or Benny or West Side Gun, it's fantastic. I absolutely love Lil Wayne's feature and Tyler's feature as well. I think this project is amazing from front to back, and it's surprisingly because it has both sides, which include up to 40 songs. I don't think there's one song I can say I disliked. I absolutely like this album as well. Number 8, Happier Than Ever by Billie Eilish. This is a funny one because when I first heard it, I did not like it. I didn't hate it, but I just thought it was, I don't know, everyone was overreacting to it. There was one song that I did like, and it's Happier Than Ever, the title track, but other than that, nothing really stood out until I decided to give it a second and third listen. It finally clicked with me. I think songs like Lost Cause and Happier Than Ever. I think Goldwing is beautiful. I absolutely turned around on this album. Gave me what I wanted, and I do think it's better than When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? I was thoroughly surprised by those second and third listens that I finally realized how good of an album this was and how good just Billie Eilish is. Billie Eilish is great. Fantastic album. Number 7 is Donda by Kanye West. Donda is a mess, and I think even Kanye fans can say that Donda is a mess, but it's a beautiful mess. It's gorgeous. There are obviously some songs where I really don't care for, but it really makes up for it with like songs like Hurricane and 24, No Child Left Behind, Keep My Spirit Alive, Jail. I do think the deluxe is better, even though it has like one more song, but that one song just adds so much, and that's Life of the Party. Andre 3000 is just a god at what he does, and Kanye West is as well. And this album was just the rollout of the album, the listening parties, the when it's going to be released, if it's going to be released. Everything was a whole experience. It was fantastic. And number 6, I felt conflicted on putting this here because it's technically a new album, but it's technically an old album at the same time. But I said it was released in 2021. I listened to it in 2021, and it's Red Taylor's Version by Taylor Swift. We all know Taylor Swift's problems with Scooter Braun and the label that does not want to give her masters, and she's been recording her albums ever since. Red was in my list of I really don't care for, mostly because I just love the original Red so much. I have a fear of things that I love getting touched, but with Fearless being released as well that year, it just gave me a sense of calmness, because Fearless is not on top of my Taylor Swift albums. I don't hate it, but listening to Fearless and then Fearless Taylor's Version makes me realize that Taylor isn't just recording these albums because she wants the profit or because she wants the money off of her music, which obviously she does, but also because she cares about the music she does. And when I heard Fearless Taylor's Version, I was more calm about what was going to happen with Red, and we got Red Taylor's Version, which is in every way an improvement to the original version of Red, except for I knew trope. I don't remember what song it was that I did say I like it in the original version of the album better. I think it was We Are Never Getting Back Together. That's what it was. Where I listened to it and it just felt kind of like toned down. It didn't feel as grand as the original song is. But yeah, Red Taylor's version, it was fantastic. I loved it, and it gave us All Too Well, the 10-minute version, which we've all been waiting for years and years since its existence, and I'm really, really, really glad that we got it. At number 5, another Griselda member, it's La Máquina by Conway the Machine, which includes one of my favorite songs of the whole year, Scatterbrain, featuring Ludacris and JID or JID. I think the song is so good, but in overall, generally, the album is fantastic. I like Griselda's production, but I really also like listening to Griselda and some crisper, more produced songs, much like Benny the Butcher's Burden of Proof. I think it's fantastic when Griselda tries, not new production, but production that really they don't do. And I think that this kind of trap version of Griselda it's really, really fun, especially with songs like KD and Scatterbrain. But you also get that hint of classic Griselda with songs like 200 Pies featuring 2 Chainz, which is also fantastic. Yeah, Griselda is killing it right now. I can easily say that they're going to be running the rap game for several years to come. They're still underground to me, but they're really close to not being. I mean, Conway the Machine performed with that one dude that fought Canelo a couple months ago. They're getting known, and I'm really, really happy for them. Number 4, this one surprised me when it came out, mostly because it came out in the beginning of the year, and it was so good it stuck with me throughout the entire year. And sometimes I might be introverted by Little Simz. I didn't really know much about Little Simz other than that one song she did for Venom. And I'm gonna shout out a Twitter user, Joey Hip Hop, was talking about how good the album was, and I was like, I have to check it out. And oh my god, it was fantastic. It was really good. It was something new. I like that somehow she blends like this old boom bap style with like today's high trap sounds. It was really, really good, really fantastic, really surprising up there to be in my top 5 albums of the year. I was thoroughly surprised with this album. I enjoyed it, and I can't wait to hear more of her because she's just fantastic. Number 3 is Call Me If You Get Lost by Tyler, the Creator. Other than the album, this rollout was also fantastic. The rollout of this album was so much fun. He gave us one single with Lumberjack, which was fantastic, and I just couldn't get more and more excited for this album. He only made us wait 1 week, and boy, did it pay off. The production here gives me huge Griselda vibes, but in other songs it gives me huge Igor vibes. It's fantastic. I don't know if I didn't really check producer tags on this one. I don't know if Tyler produced majority of it, but God, it was so good. I think Will Share is just a masterpiece of a song. I love Lemonhead. Sweet, I Thought You Wanted to Dance is a gorgeous, gorgeous track. And What's Your Name featuring NBA Youngboy is something I wouldn't think I'd hear NBA Youngboy on. He sounded great on. It was fantastic. Going into my number 2 is King's Disease 2 by Nas. When I heard that Nas was going to be doing a follow-up to King's Disease, I thought, great, more good stuff with Hit Boy. But it wasn't just good stuff. It was fantastic stuff. It just blew the first one out of the water. It was the first album of the year that made me think, holy shit, this might be a 10 out of 10. And I still think that today. Nas, I don't know if it was Hit Boy that just brought him his hunger back, but I don't know. It was just great. Lauryn Hill is on this album, guys. Lauryn Hill is on this album. But yeah, King's Disease 2 was great. Hit Boy's production, I don't think I've heard a single bad Hit Boy song ever, really. My favorite songs would probably be EPMD 2 with Eminem and EPMD. I think it was great. I think Eminem brought great energy to the song. But from front to back, King's Disease 2 is, in my opinion, way better than the first one. And even the first one was really good, but this one was just fantastic. It's really great. Before we get to my number one pick, here are some honorable mentions. Some albums that didn't quite make it in the top 10, but were still great regardless and deserve a shout out. I think these albums deserve a listen as well, so here they go. My honorable mentions for albums of 2021 are Un Canto por México Volumen 2 by Natalia Lafourcade. It's not as good as the first, but it's still really great. Number 2 is Chemtrails Over the Country Club by Lana Del Rey. I am a huge Lana fan, and I'm really happy this album was great because Blue Banisters didn't really give me what I needed, so I'm glad I have Chemtrails Over the Country Club. Scaled and Icy by 21 Pilots. This was originally, and even in my top 5 albums of the year, but as more I listened to it, I realized that it doesn't quite cut it. There are some songs that I'm just like, over it. And I really miss the grand 21 Pilots feel, but I'm sure they'll get back to it. And regardless, Scaled and Icy is still a really strong album. Vince Staples by Vince Staples. Vince Staples' Self-Titled was amazing. It was an album that I didn't really see a lot of people talk about. I thought it was great. I thought the production was stellar. This calm, chill, vibey type of music. I've really loved Vince Staples since Summertime '06, and I was just really happy to hear new stuff from him. And Exodus by DMX. Rest in peace, DMX. DMX is one of the reasons I'm into hip hop so much. I think DMX is fantastic, and I'm really glad that they gave him a proper send-off with Exodus. So yeah, those are my honorable mentions of the best albums of 2021. Number 1 is An Evening with Silk Sonic by Silk Sonic. This album is a definition of timeless. It is a masterpiece. Whatever Anderson .Paak and Bruno Mars were on when they made these songs, please keep doing it. I need more. The timeless feel, the classic feel of this somehow feels modern, but it somehow feels like I could have been listening to it in the 70s. It is fantastic. From songs from Smoking Out the Window to Put on a Smile to After Last Night, 777, Fly As Me, everything is perfect in this album. There's not a single note in this album where I can say, maybe I didn't like that. No, this whole album is perfect. This is, I think, one of the few albums I can say that I've heard that I can say are gonna live forever and ever. I don't know what type of cocaine these guys took to make this music, but please, Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak, you deserve all the recognition in the world for making this classic. This album is a classic. It is a 1000 out of 10. This album was perfect front to back. I am really happy that Anderson .Paak has gotten some huge recognition off of this album because he's always been underrated, even though that man has won multiple Grammys, made songs with Dr. Dre, Eminem, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar. Even somehow Anderson .Paak is one of the most underrated artists I've ever heard, and I'm so happy he's getting the recognition he deserves with An Evening with Silk Sonic. I think this album is perfect. It is the best album I've heard, not just 2021, 2022. I think the only perfect albums I've heard this decade are The Allegory by Royce the 5'9", After Hours by The Weeknd, and An Evening with Silk Sonic by Silk Sonic. But this one just edges over every single album I've heard these past 2 years. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for my last end of the year list, which is going to be a top 15 songs of the year. Goodbye.